In my previous video on how to actually get better at chess, we talked about the psychological approach, right? The mental approach that you need to take to improve at something like chess. We didn't even look at a chessboard, and most of this channel is us looking at openings, middle games, strategy, tactics, giving you guys pointers on how to play through your games. If you're interested in that kind of thing and trying to improve as a chess player, I would kindly ask you guys to subscribe for more content and hit that bell so you don't miss anything coming out your way. That said, right, in this series, we're not pulling up a chessboard at all. Right? This is face-to-face conversation. You don't even need to watch this video with your eyes if you don't want to. Okay, now you can if you want, that's great. But if you're in the car, if you're on a walk, if you're on a jog, if you're working out, whatever it is, you can listen to this and hopefully get some good insights and things to think about, right? Which is really what I'm trying to do here. Now, today we're going to be kind of focusing in a little bit more towards something that we touched on in the first video of this series. By the way, I will leave a link to that so you can click on that once this video finishes up. You can go back to that first original video. Yeah, I mean, we focused on this a little bit, but I'm going to focus on it a little bit more. And that's just the fact that taking good at something is going to take time. Chess is a hard game. It is, right? Don't sell yourself short thinking that, oh, I'm just having a hard time improving because something's wrong with me, but no, like it is a very difficult game and everyone's going to hit walls. Okay. Now we're going to be talking about the 3 rules of business, which I think are a good rubric for improving at chess also, right? The 3 rules of business that I've heard from Dave Ramsey, the finance guy, not from Gordon Ramsay, the chef. Okay. But Dave Ramsey, he shares 3 rules, right? Number 1, it's going to be harder than you think. Number 2, it's going to take longer than you think. And number 3, you're not the exception. And I thought that this was, just kind of a great rubric for how you need to approach business, right? It's going to take longer than you think. It's not going to, become an overnight sensation, right? It's not going to all come super smoothly without any kind of drama or any kind of hardship or any kind of moments where you're questioning if you should have started. Number 2, right? I already touched on this, but it's not just going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a week. It's going to take time. Right. And part of that is learning, right? I mean, the fact of the matter is that when you start something, you're not as good as you are once you do it for a year or 2 years, right? When I started YouTube, in a lot of ways, I kind of thought I was hoping that the channel would grow pretty fast. The truth was I gained hardly any subscribers the first year that I did it, even the second year, right? It was very slow, progress in terms of getting some kind of audience. But when I look back, I look back at those videos and go, gosh, they were terrible. Like, they're still there. If you want to go to my first videos, just go to my page, go to oldest videos. They are terrible, okay, in my mind. So that's something to think about. All right. And hopefully in 5 years, I look back at this video and go, gosh, that wasn't very good, right? I want to keep getting better at this. But all that to say, it's not going to happen overnight. And finally, you're not the exception, right? This is, in a lot of ways, kind of a universal thing. Getting good at something is hard for anybody, okay? You got to put yourself in the fire a little bit, get better, chisel things out, and continue improving on your craft. Now, I want to show you guys something real quick to kind of highlight this idea. But before that, I just want to mention, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I'm not trying to get you guys to quit chess. That is my last intention. Okay, this is for you guys that are trying to hit goals. And there's no goal that is too low of being worthy of being celebrated. Right? If someone told me, hey, I wanted to hit 1,000 and I did it, I don't go, wow, I mean, that's cool, but you know how many GMs there are? You know how many 2,000 players are? You know how many? No, that's amazing. You wanted to hit something and you just did it. Congrats. Like, that's actually amazing, right? I don't care what rating tier you just passed. You deserve celebration for that, right? And recognition for that, okay? And props for that. Okay, but no matter what your goals are, if you're trying to hit 1,000, if you're trying to hit some ELO range, if you're trying to learn endgames better, if you're trying to eventually become a titled player, no matter what it is, right? I just want to let you guys know that it's going to be hard and it's going to take time. If you want to become one of the best at something, it's never easy. Okay. And I think that this can actually help you in the long run because it's going to help you not put way too high of expectations on yourself, right? Like, I need to gain 500 points in a year. I need to gain 1,200 points. I need to become a GM by the year of 2024, even though I just learned how the knight moves. I thought it was a horse, but apparently it's a knight, and I need to become a GM in the next 10 days. That's just not how it works. Okay, so this is going to kind of guard you from unrealistic expectations, and it's going to kind of put your mindset in the place of, okay, I'm in this for the long haul. All right, this is not a 1 week, a 2 week thing. I am in this for the long haul, and I'm not going to get stuck in beating myself up when I'm in a rut, right? I know they're going to come. I know the walls are going to come. I know I'm going to get stuck in some elo tiers at times, but I'm going to keep pushing, and eventually I'll get there. Let me show you guys something about my tournament history. This is over the board tournament history. First off, okay, I've played in 119 chess tournaments. Okay, these are weekend tournaments. Some of them are blitz, right? Like this top one is blitz. That's my blitz rating, right? Most of them though were, standard chess. Okay, standard classical tournament games. And as you guys can see, I ended up passing 2,200. But let's go back to the start. Right, 2007 was my first tournament. Okay, I was 8 years old, guys. I was 8 years old, okay? And I went from unrated to 803. Next tournament, I lost some points, right? I actually played worse than 800. Next tournament, I came back up a little bit. I started gaining. Later on, I went back down to 800 and something, right? But over time, I got better and better, right? And as you guys are going to see here, 2007, I played in a bunch of tournaments in 2008, right? We have a bunch of 2009 tournaments. Plenty of 2010 and 11, right? A lot of tournaments that I played in. And guys, keep in mind, these are over the board tournaments. Some of the games lasting up to 5 or 6 hours in length. Okay. Time controls were different when I was growing up than they are now in the US at least, right? Back then, games could go up to 6 hours. Now, if you go up to 4 or 4.5, you're pushing it based on the time differences. But still, 4 hours is a long game. I've put thousands of hours in tournament chess. And I wouldn't be surprised if I put in tens of thousands of hours in studying the game. So it's going to take time. I'm warning you. Okay. Now, also look at this. Okay, first off, I kind of already went over this idea, but if we go down here, okay, this is my profile. Okay, Solomon Riddell, regular rating 2210. Okay, that's what I'm at now. That's my standard rating. Here are the ranks that I have, right, in the U.S. and in Southern California. National Master Certificate. You guys were huge in me getting this. Thanks a ton for all your support. I can't even tell you how much it means. Earned this year. Okay, so I got these titles: Candidate Master, National Master. By the way, by playing nothing but the Hippopotamus Defense. Big fan of it. And there's all this other stuff, right? But let's just put all that aside. Right? Let's look at history graphs. This is my history of chess tournaments and my rating. Okay, this is it. Now, it might seem like, it was all pretty easy, but let's just look at this in closer detail, right? Down, even, up, down, up, down, up, up. Pretty smooth there. Down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. I'm saying up and down a lot. You get the idea. There's a lot of bumps in the road here, okay? And these are over, this is over a 4-year span, guys. 11 to 15, right? 2011 to 2015. Okay, this was I was 1,800 and something, and then I got up to, this is 4 years putting in the work and gaining 300 points. It's going to take time, and you're going to have dips. And as you guys can see here, this huge green line, this is, I did lose some points over the years by playing in a tournament every once in a while when I wasn't studying. But this is a long break, right? I was playing basketball. I'm 7'1". I was hooping, playing in college. And then once I stopped, I went, I want to come back to chess. And I ended up, surpassing 2,200, which has been my lifetime goal. And I'm very thankful for that. But I just want to show that this is not going to happen overnight, okay? We don't see 2007, 2008. We see 2007, 2023. That's a long period of time. And even if you cut this back, it's still, even if you cut this back to here, and let's just say I hit 22, that's still 8-9 years of playing in tournaments. Are you willing? If you're trying, let's just say you're trying to become a national master, are you willing to put in the time? That's my question to you. And by the way, if you're not trying to hit national master, if you're not trying to hit expert, whatever your goal is, that's okay. That's okay. There's literally nothing wrong with just having fun with chess, right? Just having fun with it. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, it's a game. As I said in my first video, I'm not trying, when I go bowling with friends, I'm not trying to become one of the best in the world. I'm not trying to become elite at my craft of bowling. I suck at it. I'm terrible. Okay, sometimes I freaking hit the gutter like 10 feet out. Okay, so you get the point. Okay, going back to further highlight this, that it's going to be harder than you think. It's going to take longer than you think, and you're not the exception. Let me go to my game statistics. Okay, there's a lot going on here, a lot of numbers. Okay, on the right here we have the last 12 months. okay, the last year. And we'll get into that. But first off, let's look at this side, okay? Notice here, I have 238 wins. Okay, that's cool. But I have 95 draws, guys, and 135 losses. My question to you is, are you willing to lose 135 games, many of which are going up towards 5 hours in length? 2, 3, 4, 5 hours in length. Are you willing to do that? Right? And I'm not here bragging. I'm here saying that I've failed a lot in chess. I've had weekends where, I'm freaking, 2 out of 5 or 2 out of 6, and I'm just getting beat every game. I'm not playing well. I want to go home. I just used my entire weekend losing chess games. I paid over $100 getting in, or honestly, when I was growing up, my parents paid that. But you get the idea. I mean, it's hard. It's hard when you have high hopes for an event. You put 4 hours into a game, you lose because you're down a pawn. You play the next game, you barely draw against a lower rated player. You play the next game, you win. You play the next game, you lose, and you should have won, but you blundered, and there's your whole weekend. Right? It's tough. So I'm not here bragging. I'm not here saying that I'm the perfect man. I'm not at all. Okay, but what I am saying is that I do think that I put myself in situations where failure is going to happen. And that's how you get better at something, right? Michael Jordan missed over 9,000 shots, right? There's, a bunch of other sports analogies that I can make. Okay. And I'm sure, let me know down below if you have any examples of people that became great at what they did, but they had a lot of failure along the way. Okay. Again, the moral of this video, it's going to take longer than you think, right? It's going to be harder than you think, and you're not the exception. Okay. Now, that said, we want to improve, right? And chess is kind of weird because chess is one of those games where you're always going to be challenged all the way up into the top, right? I mean, let's just say you start going 5-0 in the under 1,200. Well, guess what? All of a sudden, you're not under 1,200 anymore. You're in the under 1,400. You grind. Oh, wow, you went 5-0 there. Okay, well, guess what? You're now 1,600. Okay, now, the higher you get up, the more expectation you have on yourself, right? When I was a kid and I was 800 and I played at 1,800, I was wanting to win that game, right? Or draw that game, should I say. Of course, we always want to win, but I was happy with the draw. Now, when I'm trying to hit 2,200, right? I don't want to draw with the 1,800. That's going to bring my rating down, right? So the higher you get, the more expectations are on you. And that's in anything in life, right? The better you get at something, when you're a kid and you're writing your little essay and you're writing, your letters backwards, there's not a ton of expectation. In your mind there is, but in terms of the quality overall, no one's expecting a masterpiece. But if you're publishing a book, you better have the sources. You better not be plagiarizing. You better be using, ethical, all that kind of stuff, right? So on the right here, we see my results within the last year. Now, they're much improved, okay? Now, in terms of the ratio, I had 43 games in the last year, and I only lost 4. So that means 39 games out of 43, I walked away and I didn't lose. Now, mind you, 11 of those were draws. So I wasn't winning every game, but I ended up with 28 wins, 11 draws, 4 losses, which is a much better ratio than what I just showed you before. Okay, so the goal is that over time, you're going to improve. Your rating will go up. But remember, dips are going to happen. And because you had a dip, that doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It literally doesn't mean that. That's normal. That's part of the process. I have never seen anyone, including Magnus Carlsen, just go like this, right? If you look at their tournament history, right? And some of you guys might be looking at some of these kids and going, gosh, it looks pretty easy for them. And I understand that. Mind you, a lot of kids playing chess competitively. I mean, there's one kid in particular I'm thinking of. Literally every chess event that I've been to that I can think of recently that isn't just for 21 plus, that isn't just for adults, right? Some kind of adult hangout. Any place where scholastics is involved or kids are invited, I've seen this kid there. Okay, so his parents are bringing him everywhere. He's gained a bunch of points, hundreds of points within the last year, but he's playing chess. I can almost guarantee it every single day. Putting in the time. Look, kids don't have a job. Kids don't have a spouse. Kids don't got to pay the bills. Kids don't. So, for all of you adult improvers, there's going to be some challenges, right? Whereas a kid doesn't have all of that, right? They just don't. They don't have work. They don't have a family to take care of. They don't, there's a lot of stuff that adults just got to do, adult things, right? But that said, you can still improve at something. Okay, I can attest to that. We make time for what we care about, and I encourage you guys to try and improve at the game of chess. And I know I might seem like a Debbie Downer, and I'm gonna start getting into, okay, how can we accelerate our progress, right? All that kind of stuff. Just to give you a little nugget at the end here, I think there's ways to accelerate your progress. One of them in chess is getting a coach, right? I think a coach can help you. Getting a course, getting a book. These things can accelerate your growth, but you're still going to have to put the work in. Okay. I do private coaching if you're interested in having me as a coach, and I'd be honored to help you in the game of chess and help you get to that next level. I will leave a link down below, but don't ask, don't double guess it here. This message I'm sending you. I've had students, especially when I was a kid, I was actually teaching another kid chess. I wasn't a kid. I was like 14 or something. But yeah, this kid was younger than me, and I was teaching him chess. When I came back every week for chess, him and his family sometimes forgot that the lesson was happening. Okay, and that happens, right? That happens. We all forget stuff, but it happened quite a bit, and it also happened where he didn't do any of the homework. Okay, if you're getting a coach and you're not improving and you're not actually doing what the coach tells you to do during the week, you're probably not going to get that much better. It can help, but it's not going to help as much as it would if you're actually doing what the coach tells you to do during the week, right? If you're getting a course and then you watch the course and then, okay, that's it, and then you don't study for another month, you're probably not going to get that much better. If you only watch 10% of the course, you're probably not going to get that much out of the course, right? You're probably not going to get that much, okay? If we, let's just say, for example, Steph Curry. Hopefully, some of you guys know who that is. Steph Curry, the greatest basketball shooter of all time. If I go to a camp and I'm learning how to shoot with him and I'm there with him for 8 hours and I improved my shooting for 8 hours, but if I just go home and I never shoot again, am I going to become an elite shooter in my life? No. I got to come back and utilize what I've learned, do the homework, do the stuff, and get after it. Okay, let me know what you thought of this video down below. If I should continue doing videos like this. I know that some of you guys enjoyed the first one, so I thought I'd make a second and see what you guys thought. And yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on this video, right? The 3 rules of business. And just kind of my example of, okay, sure, everyone, people can look at my rating, people can look at this and that. And I'm not perfect, right, at chess either. Mind you, I'm not a grandmaster or anything. I'm national master, but even getting to NM, it took work and it took a lot of losses, 135 losses, right? Most tournaments are 4 to 6 games, right? Usually 5 or 6, sometimes 4 or 7. But if you do the math on that, right, that's 27 tournaments of just straight losses, 5 rounds each. Are you willing to go to 27 tournaments, right, and lose 5 games each tournament and keep coming back? Now, of course, that's not what happened. I won some games in the middle of that, but all I'm trying to say is that I am not here telling you that where I'm at in chess is unattainable. It's not unattainable. You can get here too, but it's going to take work. Okay, it's going to take work, right? When you see someone that is really good at something, you can get there too. Now, there are exceptions, okay? LeBron James, for example, 6'8", 6'8", right? Let's just be honest. There's not everyone's going to be as good as LeBron, right? Not everyone has that ceiling, right? Not everyone has the ceiling of Magnus Carlsen, the ability to play, 20 games in his head very easily, right? At that point, I honestly don't think I'm capable of that. And I try not to put limits on myself, but sometimes maybe, I don't know, 20 games, that's crazy. I don't know how you do that. And then, freaking the record's like 48 games blindfolded or something. I don't get it, but maybe one of you guys can shed light on that. But something like chess, right? Something like chess is something that really anyone can get good at. Anyone can get good at. Okay. And again, as I talked about in the last video, something that annoys me like crazy is when people go, gosh, you're so smart. Like and they're trying to be nice, and I get it, but you're so smart. I just don't have a brain like that. Guys, I didn't either. I literally studied tens of thousands of hours. I lost 135 games in tournament chess. And over time, you just get better, right? You lose games that you really want to win, but you lose, you underperform, you go back home, you do the homework, you get back after it. Let me know what you thought down in the comment section below. Thanks for watching today's video. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe to this channel. And on top of that, hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of the chess content coming your way. I wanted to give a big shout out to my Patreon supporters of the month of December in 2023. And yeah, I mean, if you're interested in becoming a patron, we have a link down below, in which case you will see all of the benefits that you gain by becoming a member. I hope to see you join the family. All that said, I'll see you on the next one.